Welcome back to Simple Truth, trying to pull some truths out of the book of 1 Samuel. The story of David, we're in chapter 26. So we're going to pick it up right there. We just got done with one of my favorite stories, Abigail and David. Now we're going to talk about David sparing Saul's life again. Just the title, just the subtitle here is enough to probably get some discussion going, right? Again, we live in this world where sparing somebody's life once, letting them off the hook once, is something that, depending the moment, depending the situation, depending on who it is, we're willing to do that. Right, like I'll forgive you this one time, but frequently we hear the phrase, "But if you ever do it again, if you ever do it again," whenever you hear the phrase "if you ever do it again," you pretty much know that somebody in that moment is out of tune with the God of the universe. Like, you can twist that, you can spin it any way you want. But the truth of the matter is, the second that somebody says, "if you ever do it again," you're against Scripture, right? God outright said, Jesus said, you have to forgive somebody in the same day 70 times 7, right? The same offense, the same day, 70 times 7, right? Again, it's super important. 70 times 7 is not unlimited. That's what everybody wants to make it sound like, but it's fine. There's a finite amount of time right there. But the concept is, the second that you say it, you're setting yourself up to be used by the enemy. What do you think is going to happen the second you say, "if you ever do it again"? If you ever do it again, it's simply a control tactic that we love to use. I don't want to feel this way again. I don't want to hurt. I don't want you to feel this way. I don't want you to hurt. So I'm going to tell you, if you ever do it again, we're done. We're through. If that's your mindset, you've just put somebody in a prison and you're asking them to live the rest of their life in that prison. Please me, or something bad's going to happen. Well, listen, the truth is that God could be saying that same thing. Like, "Hey, Andy, you gotta figure this out, and if you do it again, there's gonna be consequences." But that's a God thing. You're supposed to be representing God. You don't speak for God unless God tells you to say something. If God tells you to walk up to somebody and say, "the next time you do this, there's going to be some major consequences," that's a God thing. God has done that before. He will continue to do that. But we don't get to look at people, put them in a prison, ask them to live there in fear, right? Because we want to be protected. We want to be taken care of. The truth is, if you don't know that people are human, if you don't know that people are going to do it, the second that you say, "if you do this again," they're going to do it 5 seconds later. Why? Because you've just declared to the enemy of your soul what's going to happen if this happens, and what do you think he's going to do? Oh, then guess what? If it doesn't happen, then he can accuse you of being a liar. You said this was going to happen. It didn't happen. Now you're the liar. Now we got two people entrenched in bad moments. Right? That's the whole purpose. So as we move forward and as we look at this story again, it's going to sound similar in nature to the first time. So there's going to be some things that I don't have to bring up. I already brought them up. But the same principles that are and were true over here, they're still going to be true here. So I want you to chew on that before we go one more moment into this story. I want you to just think about, when's the last time you said, "if you ever do this again, if this ever happens again, if I ever..." When has your forgiveness been conditional on if somebody does something again. Because again, the way you forgive is the way you're going to be forgiven. So you want God to say, yeah, sure, I'll forgive you, but if you ever do this again, we're done. That's crazy. Again, as Christians, we are always trying to manipulate things. And as humans, we are always trying to control things. We are always trying, right, to massage moments and things into what we want. We were talking about it down here today. If someone's an addict struggling with an addiction, they're going to struggle with that for a very long time. It's possible for somebody who has an addiction to peanut butter to never ever have peanut butter again until 15 years later, and then they accidentally at Christmas time, right, have something that has some peanut butter in it because it's covered with chocolate. And then all of a sudden that addiction comes back. You're going to tell me that you've lived with somebody for 10, 15 years. They've been great. They've been wonderful. They've stayed with it. But because they had something 15 years later, you say, oh, I told you 15 years ago that if you ever had that peanut butter again, you were going to be gone. Think about what you're saying and think about how you want God to treat you while you're talking to other people, while you're treating other people. Think about that. We'll see you next time right here on Simple Truth.